Warning. The following audio is solely our opinions. Please don't sue us, bro. Brought to you by Life Tech and Sundry. Life is better with Life Tech and Sundry.
Nowadays, life is intertwined with technology. Let's figure it out. Welcome to Life, Tech, and Sundry. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day. Welcome to Life, Tech, and Sundry. This is Marcos Lopez. Whatever time of day, Mr. J. So, tonight we have a guest. But of course, we have also the big three. So, my name is Marcos Lopez, and to my right, I have Alan.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you for having me back.
Digitally, through the internet, we have Mr. J.
Yes, I am here.
And last, but definitely not least, Kenichi.
My name is Kenichi Miyazaki, and I'm guest in this recording.
Don't worry.
Actually, I'm not sure what should I talk about.
That's okay. Kenichi, we're just bouncing off the energy.
Okay.
So just go with the flow, whatever makes you feel comfortable to say.
Okay.
So, Josue, how's your week been?
Been delicious.
Sounds like you're eating something.
That's quite tasty.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Alan, how's your week been?
It's been a little hectic, can't lie. But I'm just very fortunate, very blessed to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you.
Kenichi, how's your week been?
Sorry.
It's all right. Okay. No problem.
But actually, my English is very poor, so sometimes I can't understand English, and of course, my English is not so good. So
it's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay, Kenichi. No, Marcos was just asking how your week was going, or how has it gone?
Oh, this week?
Yes,
this week.
Yeah. Actually, just normal days.
Yeah, normal day. As normal as it can be.
Yes.
Okay. So, like always, here in Life Tech and Sundry, we are going to have a light reading and, of course, our 2 cents, our opinions of these thoughts, if you will. And then my shower thoughts, of course. Shall we begin, Mr. J? Alan? Kenichi?
Yes,
Shall we
sir.
begin? Okay. Just ahead of time, sorry for my horrible reading. Will you forgive me, Josue?
No.
No.
You should know the mighty fist of justice.
Out of
That's all I can say.
everything, I forgot to open the notes.
Oh no.
It's okay, bro.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to read the first one?
No. I got it. Okay.
Oh,
Number... What? What happened?
what happened?
Nothing. Okay. So,
Okay.
number 1. And this is story time. Number 1. Elon Musk's Neuralink could transition from implanting chips in monkeys to humans within the year. So we're gonna be like Master Chief, if anything. Video game. Get excited.
Marcos, can you speak up a little bit?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How about that?
Sounds a little better.
Sorry, I was just speaking too softly. My bad.
It's quite all right.
Last week, Tesla CEO Elon Musk released a video showing how his company Neuralink, a brain-computer interface company, had advanced its technology to the point that the chip could allow a monkey to play video games with its mind, just its brain activity. Neuralink can transition from operating on monkeys to human trials within the year. If the startup meets a previous prediction from Musk in February, he said the company planned to launch human trials by the end of this year, as of 2021. After first mentioning his work with the monkey implants. At the time, the CEO gave the timeline in response to another user's request to join human trials for the product, which is designed to implant artificial intelligence into human brains, as well as potentially cure neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Read more in Business Insider. Okay? So what do you guys think? Mr. Elon Musk's plans to advance his company called Neuralink into monkey trials to human trials, meaning that its end goal is to try to improve or have a solution for Alzheimer's in human brains or other mental illnesses that could be improved or assisted via a physical chip inside the human brain. What anime? Let's see. I'm thinking about The Matrix somehow.
Like when you like plug in, kind of like SAO.
SAO, maybe?
SAO, maybe.
But I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, guess these are trials, right?
If you read further in the document, it says that the FDA hasn't approved it yet. It's in the process of analyzing its data and all the critical things. They say that they want to do this at the end of 2021 to be determined.
So that's the goal, right?
Actually, I remember one anime about 広角機動隊. Do you know about that?
No, never heard of that.
Okay.
That is maybe just in future, everyone can connect internet directly from brain to internet.
Damn,
like
talk about having a Bluetooth connection.
Like
yes,
Bluetooth?
like that.
Okay.
So every eyes hearing and
all your
sensors.
yeah, sensors. Yes,
Oh.
just replace to some information.
Okay.
Yes.
Then it makes big advantage for us because you don't need sorry, it's very difficult.
No, no.
You're good.
Take your time. Don't
Take
worry.
your time.
So probably that make big advantage of human, but I feel that is very far from current technology.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know detail of that news, but I want to know what he want to do.
What's the point, right?
That's the point, yes.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. J?
I like monkeys.
Monkeys are your friend?
Yes. I say monkeys because he's literally using the monkey as a test subject.
From Dexter's lab,
they
might
said
as
that
well.
They trained the monkey to play ping pong, like the virtual one.
Ping pong, yeah.
The
Pong.
8-bit game.
Pong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they trained him with the joystick, and now they basically took it away and put the chip in his brain.
Oh, so he's like repeating the sensory, like the brain activity that's needed when we're moving our fingers on a joystick.
Like little neurons.
But whatever's firing is imitated in his head, so he doesn't actually has to move the muscle.
So
Right?
I think,
yeah.
therefore, I am basically.
Not really. Like The Matrix. Now I know kung fu.
Oh, so he just uploaded that understanding or
that-
the information to do it.
The information is already in his head,
Okay.
and all those neurons to move the finger left and right, press the buttons, is in his head. The the muscle memory
Okay.
is transferred into his brain, and from there he can transfer it to the chip. And the chip does the physical activity.
What do you think? Anishi?
Actually, I think that is not so hard because, for example, if you think about more complicated thing, for example, image or this kind of hearing is very, very complicated. But muscle is just, for example, if you want to move your fingers, just I don't know how many muscles is in fingers, but you can control each
individual
finger. Muscle finger with a number of information of
shortcuts, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving muscle is not so difficult, I think, but
playing piano.
Yes. Actually, interesting. 2 years ago, I joined neuroscience journal.
A journal of neuroscience.
Journal. Sorry, I can't remember exactly.
You're okay.
Anyway, that is a very big.
Like a conference?
Yeah, big conference for neuroscience.
Okay.
And somebody doesn't have arms.
Right. So he has like a prosthetic.
Yes, and he has mechanic arms, and he can move each finger with just
with whatever's left of his arm.
Yes.
Okay.
And he said now he is trying to play the piano
with the neurological arm.
Yeah,
with the mechanical arm.
Okay.
If it contact it to his brain.
Right.
So, and interestingly, that is some kind of.
Is it like electrical shocks or something?
Yes, but I want to say
like ones and zeros, basically.
Yes, and they have a wireless. Wireless connectivity between arms and the brain.
Like Bluetooth?
Yes, like Bluetooth. Yes.
That's why.
So in future, maybe
it'll be more integrated.
You already know it's going to get even better.
Yes. For example, maybe he can play the piano just far from that instrument.
He can
maybe.
Have you guys seen the Addams Family?
I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
In the movie, there's a character called Hand because it's just a hand.
Okay.
In the future, someone can be having his hand far away as long as there's Wi-Fi, and he can be walking around doing things.
Well, but that kind of reminds me of how there's some doctors, like medical doctors, that actually perform surgery procedures from a computer far away. They literally play like a joystick, or not play, but they do their surgeries with joysticks and stuff with a very I guess a very high-tech camera, 4K camera or something, where they're able to
stable internet.
Yeah, of course, and you don't have the Boost mobile connection.
Dang.
No shade,
Somebody's shaming.
Well, I'm just saying, they're able to perform a surgical procedure through the internet with nothing more than a joystick and a D-pad. That's what I'm summing it up to, where you can actually do that. But for you to actually have a Bluetooth connection or connectivity
wireless,
from your brain to a prosthetic or a mechanical, whether it be an arm or a leg
or an eye.
Yeah.
But I think the eye is a little bit more complicated.
Yes, the eye is very complicated because
you have a lot of little
cones, rods and cones.
Yeah, connections in your eye, where it's like it's not just a ball, like an eyeball in a socket. There's like connections that you get depth, you perceive color.
I mean, there's two of them, for depth and distance.
Right, and then you I guess you can color and all this other stuff, the mechanics that go shadows and all. So I'm guessing it's a little bit more complicated than just arms and legs.
I don't know if this is correct, but I remember hearing that we have a couple what is it? 7 million? No. 8? Let's go with 3 million sensors on our entire body. 2 million of those sensors go just inside of our eyes.
I wasn't aware of that. I don't know.
Can you imagine? Like literally within just those little things, there's millions and millions of sensors, millions in just one eye, and then millions on another. And then all that we have to interpret in our brain.
Yes.
Well, like
so, if you control just arm, probably you need just only one signal. Just
yes.
Maybe you also need some.
Maybe 5. How about 5?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe 5.
Maybe. So that is easy, but
then do that exponentially.
Yeah.
That's just interesting. Now, what I'm thinking, if you have like an artificial arm, can you cheat on a piano and say you can pre-record the recording of how the muscle movements for a piano?
But at that point, I think you're talking about you literally getting like a flash drive, uploading it to your brain and doing
the Matrix.
Yeah,
now
but
I got Kung Fu.
I don't know if that we're technologically speaking. I don't think we're there yet.
Dave, that is my interesting. Now you have 5 fingers, maybe 10 fingers
In total, right?
total.
Yes.
But if you add more 1 finger.
Oh, like 6 fingers on each hand?
Yes. So probably we can't control 6 fingers separately because already we have some.
You're hardwired for only 5.
Yes. But if you add 1 finger when you are baby, maybe just my thinking, but maybe
you can train yourself.
Yes.
From a young age.
And yes, maybe he knows how to control 6 fingers.
Oh, but then that would be something that would be something that you would have to have a control, do some sort of scientific procedure to have like a control and some sort of test subject to actually do that, right?
Yeah.
With like maybe a prosthetic. So I mean, but that's never been done before, has it?
No, probably no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna want to put
ethics.
Extra finger on a baby and be like, hey, let's see if he can play the flute.
So maybe he can become a advanced human or something.
I don't know if everyone here has seen Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I started watching.
I didn't watch, but I know.
I've only seen 2 episodes.
They did modifications on their body to get an advantage. But at the beginning of the series, when they were doing those changes, they were on the floor like suffering because it was something different. And then gave it time. Over time, they had advantages in that universe, made that be combat.
But they all died.
They did. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. But again, I think that just kind of proves the point that we're not there yet.
Yeah.
When it's only portrayed in like anime
let's say it's like
science fiction.
It's like the cell phone version 1.
No, I don't think it's even there yet.
I think we're like in the 80s with the cell phone right now compared to that, or even further behind.
No, I don't think so, bro. Because just in people's brains alone, how complicated that is.
But at the same time, how fast can people get used to it?
Again, I think it's based on how little we know about the brain, how the mechanics that it works, or how it goes along the rest of the connections that go to your body. So I mean, Kenichi, I don't know the numbers or percent. How much does a person use their what's the percentage of a human using the brain? Is it like 20%?
No, I think I'm not sure, but I think 100%. I heard maybe 20 years ago somebody said human used just only 10 or 20%. But
I thought that was a myth.
Yeah, that's what I was going at. Yeah.
But actually, that is not that is wrong.
Okay.
So now many scientists believe human use 100% neurons.
Oh, okay.
I heard. I have to check.
No, yeah, of course. We can
no.
definitely, listeners, you can definitely Google fact
just in
check.
case.
Just
Alan,
in case.
Can you also introduce what?
Yes, of course. For listeners of tonight's recording, our special guest Kenichi is a scientist, and he works on synapses, so basically the brain. And if you hear him chime in on the actual subject, is because he has a better understanding of the actual subject.
And we like to pick his brain.
Yeah. So, Kenichi, would you like to explain a little bit about exactly what you do?
Yes. I'm working in a New York Medical College and in a physiology department. And my research is about synapse. Probably everyone knows about synapse. But interestingly, many people knows what is synapse, but still humanity cannot measure input size of synapse. Scientists can know where is which synapse is activated.
Yeah.
But how scientists cannot measure how much. So my goal is measuring input size in each synapse.
Okay.
So when you say input size, that implies that there's a unit. What are the units for synapses to start with?
Yes, actually, synapse has. Do you know about membrane potential?
Membrane potential?
Yes, that a neuron has some electrical potential, and it is minus 60 to minus 70 from outside of neuron. So, brain information, probably you know, brain information is electrical pulses.
Yes.
Okay.
And that become a minus 60 to plus 40 or something. That is a brain information.
Okay. That's the input.
So it's a scale, not even like a car, 10 kilometers per hour, 10 miles per hour. It's not that. It's a scale of how much it from negative to positive 40.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Actually, that is action potential. Please wait. I will explain.
Yeah.
please.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Take your time.
I'll take your time.
Neuron has output and input.
Right.
Yes.
And output is called action potential.
Okay.
And it become 40 to minus 60 to plus 40 rapidly.
Oh, okay.
Then go back to normal.
So the input and output like that.
No, information is pulses.
Oh.
That pulse is usually membrane potential is minus 60 millivolt.
Millivolts.
Sorry,
Wow.
millivolt, yes.
Wow.
But of course, pulse has amplitude.
Yes.
And that amplitude is plus 40 millivolt. So it's like
It's a wave. It's a sine wave.
It's like a wave, right? Like a pulse.
no,
almost?
how can I? Okay, if you measure pulses from computer,
Yes.
you can see many
Waves.
many
Spikes.
spikes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Action potential is like that.
Oh, okay. They're like spikes.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
That is output.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And input is of course there is input, and that input is not like action potential. It's called a postsynaptic potential.
What? Say that
That
3
is-
times.
It's a bit complicated, but that action potential is all or no, 0 or 40, minus 60 or plus 40 millivolt. It's like digital computer,
Yeah.
Oh,
but input is not digital. It's like analog.
Okay.
So if some neuron get one input, membrane potential become maybe increase 1 millivolt. If there is many inputs to
Happening at the same time.
yes happening same time, it's become maybe 10 or 20 millivolt.
Okay.
And if that membrane potential become over some threshold, it's become action potential.
Oh.
My explanation is not good, but
It's okay. No, it's okay.
That's good.
But anyway, there is input and output, and my research is measuring input in synapse.
Wow. Okay.
And is it difficult to figure out the input?
Yes, actually, until 20. Previously, everyone measured these synaptic input using electrode.
Okay.
But if you use electrode, you can't know where that input comes from.
Right.
But recently, many neuroscientists using some light for measuring synaptic input. So using so now we also using this kind of light. It's called imaging technology. So now we can measure each input of each synapse. So that is our research.
Okay.
Dang.
You want to ask something before I do?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, is there any type of experiments that you do that you would like to share? Like one of your favorite, or something that's very, maybe something that people may not know that you do as an experiment to measure the input? Like an experiment that you use to test that or try to figure out the input? Because I think you, if I remember correctly, you told me that one of the experiments is to try to divide up the brain like in very thin slices.
Oh, yes.
Is there a name for that type of is it an experiment, or is it something that's not an experiment?
That is an experiment.
Okay.
We are using electrodes, so we can't now we are using hippocampus, which is some kind of parts for learning and memory.
Okay.
But that hippocampus is in a deep brain, so we can't access that part easily. So we make slice.
Okay.
Then measure electrical response and some and also we can do imaging.
Okay. So like maybe as an example, it's like you're trying to make a map maybe?
Actually, yes, somebody is making
A map of the brain.
But my interesting is just about synapse. So
Okay. So just the connection.
yes,
Basically,
just connection.
connectional signals,
Yes.
like into an electrical outlet
Yeah.
and all those. Okay,
Oh,
and
wow.
you gotta know your connections. So
Yeah, of course.
I like that.
That's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Now, what I'm thinking, as an observation here, is a thought. There's gonna be a business, or there probably is a business, for material sciences into connection, directly connecting into physical brain. What makes better connection,
Okay.
or for specific things. Let's say an athlete, he's gonna be in water, or he's gonna be somewhere that the terrain is more harsh on the skin or on the material. There's probably gonna be study for that, material science study.
Oh,
That's my theory. That if we know, is it true that gold is a better electrical conductor?
I'm sorry.
Gold. Do you think the material gold better conducts electricity,
Gold.
or silver, or copper?
Actually, we are using silver.
Silver.
Yes,
Okay.
because little bit complicated, but usually many people using silver for measuring these kind of electric things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's probably going to be a market to different niche. How do you say niche? Another word for niche.
Specific, maybe.
Specific activities, like an athlete that swims, or someone that works in the desert, or a firefighter, because he's going to be in high temperatures.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I understand you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a reason why major manufacturers of like electronics and stuff use silver inside because I think silver has a property to conduct some sort of electrical current through it, or something like that, right?
Versus gold.
Again, I think silver is used more than gold, and I think it's because of the price. But then again, I don't. This is just my shot in the dark, because obviously, industrial use of silver and gold for electronics is very big. But I think silver, and again, I'm not sure, but I have heard that this silver is the reason the price of silver is right now, and it's always been like fluctuating around the same price, give or take whatever the stock market is. There's like a big monopoly around it, because manufacturers don't want the price of silver to be too expensive, because it's very useful for making electronics
or science
or for science. Yeah. So this is my reasoning, but I mean, I can be totally wrong. But Kenichi, did you have something to say? I'm sorry.
No. Actually, one of big reason for using silver in neuroscience field is usually, of course, if you think about computer, everything is just metal.
Yes.
But about neuron has some. I said neuron has some voltage.
Yes.
But these. There is current inside of neuron.
Yes.
But that current is made by ion.
What?
Ions.
Electrical ions,
Electrical ions.
Yes.
So, I said I use silver, but accurately I'm using silver chloride.
Silver chloride.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you add current, chloride on silver just become chloride ion. So it can be current in neuron.
So it's not
that is why
pure silver. It's a silver chloride.
Yes.
It's an alloy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I did not know.
I did not know that. Yeah, but it's a very niche market for studies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Now imagine putting that on the chip.
Yeah. So, I mean, going back to your point from your article, Marcos, I think it's really interesting that, I think it's a goal, lofty at that. We're not technologically there yet to get to that advancement, but I see Mr. Musk, making
He said he wanted to go to space, right?
He's already there, bro. And he says he's the emperor of Mars now, right? So that's the thing.
He's like, my land, the sun rises on my land, my red land.
So that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Do you want to go on the next topic?
Number 2.
Oh,
yes.
And before we jump to the next part, I wanted to listen to Mr. J's opinion.
Oh yeah, Mr. J.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, come on, Mr. J is part of this podcast, man. If he's there,
Mr. J, you okay?
No. What I was gonna say? They use
I like it.
No, they use silver is the most conductive material, and
even versus gold.
Gold is nothing. Copper is better than gold.
Oh, that's why there's copper wiring.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm using copper right now.
A lot better.
There you go.
Yeah, it's silver, copper, and gold.
Literally, copper is the gold standard.
Oh, that's the actual. I guess.
Yeah, that's the rankings.
Ranking,
gold
okay.
is like 70% conductivity. Copper is 100. Silver is 105.
How can that be 105?
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, because these are conductivity.
Oh.
It doesn't mean that like there's no resistance, but it just means that they can go a little bit beyond, and you can.
Plus ultra?
Of course.
Yes.
Well, I have one question. Why some recording stuff using gold, not copper? For example, this connector,
It's copper wiring, maybe?
no, I think expensive
Yeah. They
music.
have, like gold connection.
Yes,
But
I
I think
know
it's
why.
plated, no?
But it's still
Yeah.
gold.
Not necessarily. It's gold plated, but it doesn't mean it's like 100%. Like
So
it's
it
not.
could be
It's not
a
a.
marketing
It's not
scheme,
a
if anything.
14 carat, is what I'm saying. It's not, the purity of it. It's not there. They're using like some sort of like pseudo gold. Not that it's not gold. Maybe it's again gold plated. It's like a mixture. It's an alloy, like you were saying earlier.
My guess. And what kind of like connectors, right? You were saying?
Oh, so the answer is that gold is highly resistant to corrosion or
Oxidizing.
Corrosion.
Right. It doesn't
Oh.
oxidize.
It's to prevent the poor connection between the two sources.
That's why it's
Oh,
plated. That's why it's
okay.
plated.
Yeah.
Like a USB that's gold plated, let's say,
yes.
Or some of these rappers fake chain.
so that they don't rust.
Yeah, so it doesn't rust. That's why they have it.
Okay.
The gold. That's why they're like gold tipped,
Right.
so that the connection doesn't rust.
And it sounds fancy on the description.
The marketing.
Yes.
I thought it was just marketing. I was wrong. I'm okay. I learned something new today.
Yeah, we're all learning something new today. It's quite all right, sir.
Oh,
It's quite all right, sir. Don't worry.
I'm picking it up.
There you go. All right. So, do you want to move on? Thank you, Josue, again for that insightful information. Is there anything else you wanted to add on, Josue, or
again, monkeys.
monkeys? Very cool.
Monkeys and the brain.
Choco.
So, it says for the Neuralinks I had here, they connect to, they have electrodes on the brain. I don't know where specifically. They said that they had like a bunch of electrodes connected. And it's supposed to be used for like motor control, so like all your arms, legs, and all that stuff. Everything that you use to move around, that's what they're like detecting. They're not like detecting like emotion, fear, like,
Pleasure.
I think they are measuring temperature, but they mostly focus on like motor controls.
Yes, that makes sense.
The piano thing.
Yes.
The piano.
Piano.
Or running.
Yes.
What else? Eyes. That one still throws me off. Like you were saying, the eye sensors, they're chemicals. They react to light, so it's not the same. And
I mean, if you think it like in a digital sense, image processing is extremely hard.
you
Like,
showed me.
even like facial detection. Yeah, even facial detection it's really complicated.
Mr. J showed me a project he was working on how an image just of a picture. Let's say we're looking at something and it's a JPEG or a PNG, only to show what's red, and it's different levels of red in the picture. Everything else is black, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
But the program is going into the code and going into the RGB. I think it was, Josue. Was it?
So essentially,
Oh, you tell it.
the
Yeah,
images
you.
break down by the length and width of the image. So depending on how many pixels it is, by the RGB levels, so red, green, and blue. And what it does is, like, for example, line detection, it does create a mask, which essentially blacks out everything except for the object. The object itself is just pure white, so that it's able to detect that this is the object I'm looking for, and everything else is irrelevant. And then that can be used to, that's more used for like object detection. Facial recognition is more like into the pixels. Basically, they have different models that they use to kind of distinguish each part of the face. So like for example, when you're doing your Face ID, it scans the whole thing and it basically memorizes your patterns.
Yeah.
And I forgot which model it is. I forget if it's either like a CNN, which stands for convolutional neural network, or one which I don't remember right now. And they use that to basically compare and see how accurate you are, and it reaches a certain accuracy, and that's what they use to
Can you?
kind of detect. Oh, this is the person I'm looking for.
Oh, can you do a facial recognizing without AI? It means machine learning.
I would like to say no from what I know, because we are using AI models
Okay.
to do it. It could be possible, but it
That is
sounds really hard.
yes,
Can you just
That sounds really hard, because like the thing is that like these models are created for these situations. Like deep learning is great for things like this, like image processing,
yes.
because it handles multiple levels of matrices, and that's essentially what an image is. Without it, that's a lot. It's basically
Okay.
starting from scratch.
imagine trying to do that on paper? It's just crazy.
It's even hard. They essentially, when they show a model, like a picture of it to people, it's basically just a bunch of dots connected to each other to kind of show, and they don't even show the full image. The full image can be massive. I remember they showed it for one of, I forgot which model or which thing it was using for. Basically, they showed I think the neural network of it. And it was massive.
Okay, what is neural network?
So for deep learning,
Yes.
essentially, one of the models basically copies the neural network of a brain, not to like to exactly how our brain works,
Okay.
but kind of just like connecting each neuron to each other to different situations. So for like images, they kind of group them together and try to compare them to different data sets they have, and essentially just bringing it back down to the answer you're looking for. So basically, it's just a massive set of data points that
Okay.
eventually come together into one result, or
Okay.
multiple results. It can be even.
That's interesting.
So it's not like an actual brain, but it's like the basic
Concept
outline of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Dang.
Yeah, definitely it is.
No, and this is what allows the, I guess, like, for example, a Tesla car to learn the how to maneuver around a street specifically.
Oh, okay.
Because essentially that's what it's just learning by itself.
Yes.
Okay, you guys ready to go for number 2?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can lab-grown brains become conscious? In other words, can they think for their own? Can they become a thinking being? Let's start. A handful of experiments are raising questions about whether clumps of cells and disembodied brains could be sentient, and how scientists would know if they were. In Alison Moultrie's laboratory, hundreds of miniature human brains, the size of a sesame seed, float in petri dishes, sparking with electrical activity. These tiny structures, known as brain organoids, are grown from human stem cells and have become a familiar fixture in many labs that study the properties of the brain. Moultrie, a neuroscientist at the University of California in San Diego, has found some unusual ways to deploy his. He has connected organoids to walking robots, modified their genomes with Neanderthal genes, launched them into orbit aboard the International Space Station, and used them as models to develop more human-like artificial intelligence systems. Like many scientists, Moatri has temporarily pivoted to studying COVID-19, using brain organoids to test how drugs perform against the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. But one experiment has drawn more scrutiny than the others. In August of 2019, Moatri's group published a paper in Cell Stem Cell Reporting, the creation of human brain organoids that produced coordinated waves of activity resembling those seen in premature babies. The waves continued for months before the team shut this experiment down. Now, if you want to find out more, read in Nature. One more time, the website that did this report is called Nature. What do you guys think?
Interesting.
Yes, interesting. Very interesting.
So they're making very small brains that are working in the team.
Yes. But
Salutations, Marcos here. This is a message to all the listeners out there. There are links in the show notes for our Twitter, email, and even show notes. Any questions or ideas for the podcast can be sent via these links. Now, back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Actually, I didn't read that article, but just my feeling is...
Oh, we got Kenichi's feelings here. Go for it.
Just it is difficult to have any consciousness in this kind of random neuron network, because, for example, if you think about a hippocampus, that is part of brain and learning and memory, but every not only human but also almost all animals has same structure of hippocampus. So structure is very important for thinking and learning and memory. So if you made random connective neural network, probably that is nothing. Maybe just my...
Nothing meaningful, if we will. It's something, but nothing that makes sense for us at the moment. Okay.
Just my thinking. I'm not sure. Maybe...
To elaborate with your idea, I was talking to this with my dad, and he was saying, oh no, like he was already assuming the worst. Like, oh no, here comes a lab-built brains that you can do something with artificial intelligence and the Terminators. I don't know how everything ended to the Terminator. And
really? Skynet?
Yes. And I was saying, hold up. What makes specifically humans or any animal with a brain on Earth? Let's just say humans for our case. We have all of our brains are part of our system.
We have thumbs.
Hold up. That's what I was going to say. We have receptors. We have sensors.
Yes.
We react or we produce based off on our environment. Almost everything we do is to gain something. May that be pleasure, like food. We cook for food. We grow corn for bread or something like that. We hunt for food. I don't want to say we watch anime for food, but something like a pleasure survival.
Oh, but I think that
pleasure. This goes for pleasure.
Yeah,
like
that fulfills. That doesn't even fulfill anything. It just.
But it's pleasure. It's a fulfillment.
Yeah, I mean, you can say the same thing about music.
Anything that gives you fulfillment.
Where food is different because it's actual sustenance.
It's primal. Right. Yes.
So making that distinction is something important.
Correct. But
Right,
that's
right.
the difference for organoids or mini brains. They're not doing anything for survival.
Mm.
In nature, in the wild, are we in the wild? We're not. Humans are no longer in the wild,
I
right?
mean, 4 walls and a roof, air
Is that-
conditioning in the summer.
That's not wild, I guess. Yeah.
It's pretty wild, bro. Heat in the winter,
Yeah. We normally versus an organoid,
nice fridge.
nice headphones.
Yes, very nice.
But yeah, so that's what I feel like organoids are for. They're not doing it for preservation of the species or themselves or pleasure, whatever. They're like, oh, we need you to do math to solve this problem of COVID. The brain is gonna do it. It's being fed because they need food or sustenance, and they don't have to worry about, oh, I'm sleepy or I need to go to the bathroom. They don't have those organs. So those kinds of brains don't have a way of being like me. I like anime. I like pizza. I like that. They don't even know what pizza is.
Mm.
They don't even know what anime is.
Mm.
They don't know what Doki Doki is. Like, they don't have a heart.
You're right.
So that's what consciousness is a combination of us
Yes, I
enjoying.
think so.
I'm loving your TED talk right now, bro.
Hey.
Very inspirational.
But yeah, like, you can say they want to be, but at the end of the day, they're going to be more like computers, if anything. That's my thought. And that's my TED talk.
Very good, sir.
Mm.
Also, my thoughts?
All the time.
That's pleasure.
Yes. I mean, I don't know, because
What does your heart say?
that seems.
What does your
I like
stomach
bacon,
say?
egg, and cheese.
Oh, yo, that's a fact. A nice bacon, egg, and cheese.
Nah, but I mean, like I don't know. I didn't even read the article. But like AI is so is. I mean, you could say new, but also like complicated as well. Because it's new, because it's so fresh that it's so fresh. Like there's still a lot of possibilities into it. So
Yes. Actually, that possibility is very interesting.
It's the what if.
yeah.
But that might as well not count, though, because there's no path there's no data for it. I can speculate about the Terminator all day, but
But now I'm thinking about a evolution. Maybe this tiny brain, if you make many tiny brains, maybe one of them has some
Anomaly? Like something different?
something different.
Okay.
So if you
and it's just random, that possibility.
yes, that's random possibility. But maybe that kind of very small brain become some more advanced something.
Are you saying that we probably can create another species with that's just a brain?
Just brain, but possibly maybe it can be.
It's not like a Homo sapiens or anything. It's just brain
just new
sapien.
brain, yes, like that. Yes.
Sapien is Latin, right? For like sentient, I think.
Peace. No, is it?
Can you
Google?
Google?
Hey, yo, Google, please. What is it? Like that's a scientific name for.
I think it's Latin.
I don't know the origin if it's Latin or not. Yeah, but I think you might be right, bro. I don't know.
I feel like I'm as right as we all are. Like I don't know Latin.
I barely know English and Spanish, guy.
According to this, it's an island.
Sapien? The word sapien?
Yeah.
So there's an island. There's also a movie called The Island, where you should watch it. That's
Okay.
Yes. And regarding how people are made into clones and they try to harvest the clone's organs, but during the experiments, they managed to make. Okay, go for it.
It says this that Homo sapiens means in Latin, wise man.
So Homo is wise, or sapien is wise. Sapien sounds like ape. Wise ape, wise guy, wise dude, wise chips,
Wise
Cheetos.
Donkey Kong.
King Kong. Tell that to an AI to think about it that way. So what do you think, Josue?
Yeah, sapien. I think sapien means wise. It's like smart, intelligent.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Oh yeah, Kenichi, what you were thinking about something?
No. Just I'm thinking about what is Homo.
Yeah.
Homo, maybe that is. Hey, I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
Homogeneous. Homogeneous
like
is
that.
like.
Yes. I have no idea, but
maybe it's short for something. Probably like it's abbreviated for something.
Yeah, Homo means man or human.
Oh,
Homo means man or human.
so wise
Latin.
man.
Yeah.
So
Sapien
wise
is
man.
wise.
wise man. Probably what it is.
Man wise. So it's
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I would have never guessed that.
me neither.
When you said island, title is island.
Yeah, the movie is called The Island.
Okay.
In this movie, it's a science fiction movie from 2005 that they tried to make replacement organs for people, but the organs didn't survive long because they were clones.
Yeah.
So it needed to be attached to some to an
It
entire
seems to be interesting.
and they needed to create a consciousness.
Okay.
And then you don't know who's the real one and who's the fake. And it has
It always seems to be a problem, right? In the
What's the
science
na-
fiction movies, like
there's always a problem.
it's like
A shonen.
Yeah. Well, it's like you always take from the original,
What?
but you can
Wait,
never.
what?
I don't know where that connection came from, but I'm just saying, you always like us as humans always try to take from what the original is, and then we try to recreate or copy.
Yeah.
But we just can't quite get it right, and it always kind of blows up in people's face, especially in the science fiction movies. You know?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you start making a Velociraptor mixed with a Tyrannosaurus Rex mixed with a
Or just a Velociraptor. Make 6 of them.
well, yeah, and then they become your pet dogs.
That can live. I mean, if a pet dog tries hard enough, he could probably kill you.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine that Rottweiler.
It's a Chihuahua.
I think he wants to kill you even more.
Or at least, bark at something.
Yeah. But yeah. So, I think that's a good closer. I'm going to go to number 3. Would you will to go to number 3, Mr. J?
Yeah. Scientists discovered why the human brain is so big. Molecular switch makes human organ 3 times larger than great apes. Study finds it is. Oh, there's the link. Hold up. There you go. Study finds it is one of the defining attributes of being human when compared with our closest primate relatives. We have incredibly large brains. Now scientists have shed light on the reason for the difference. By collecting cells from humans, chimps, and gorillas and turning them into lumps of the brain in the laboratory, tests on the tiny brain organoids reveal a hitherto unknown molecular switch that controls brain growth and makes the human organ 3 times larger than brains in the great apes. Tinker with the switch and the human brain loses its growth advantage, while the great ape brain can be made to grow more like a human's. After several weeks, the human brain organoid were by far the largest of the lot, and close examination revealed why. In the human brain tissue, so-called neural progenitor, cells, which goes to make all of the cells in the brain, are divided more than those in grade 8 brain tissues. Lancaster, whose study is published in the Cell, added, "You have an increase in the number of these cells. So once they switch to making the different brain cells, including neurons, you have more to start with. So you get an increase in the whole population of brain cells across the entire cortex." Mathematical modeling of the process showed that the difference in cell proliferation happens so early in the brain development that it ultimately leads to a near doubling in the number of neurons in the adult human cerebral cortex compared with in the great apes. The researchers went on to identify a gene that is crucial to the process, known as ZEB2. It switches on later in human tissues, allowing the cell to divide more before they mature. Tests showed that delaying the effect of ZEB2 made gorilla brain tissues grow larger, while turning it on sooner in human brain organoids made them grow more like the ape ones. John Mason, professor of molecular neurodevelopment in the University of Edinburgh, was not,
Edinburgh. That's Scotland,
Is it
I think.
Edinburgh?
No, Edinburgh. That's in Scotland.
Sure.
Scotland.
I need fact checks, Marcos.
You can look it up.
Who's not involved in the research, said it's highlighted the power of organoids for the study of brain development. There you go.
Yeah, this is brought to you by The Guardian.
No, we can't do that.
Wait, so my whole question for
Yeah.
this one would be, does making a brain bigger through that type of
A
experimentation,
hormone, yeah.
right, does it make it useful, or are you just making it big to make it big?
It's a gene, not a hormone.
Oh, but what they were saying is that the brain of the human, you put in this gene to develop, to grow at an earlier age before the brain matures, because I'm thinking it's the life cycle of the brain.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what they're trying to explain. That once the brain, or the organoid in this case, reaches a certain level of maturity, it can't physically. I'm thinking of it actually increasing by surface area by dense.
That's what I was thinking. Like it physically grew. Like
And that's what they're doing with these they're sesame seeds.
right. But again, my whole question is like, does it make it more useful or less useful for for the monkey?
Or I feel like they're just measuring dimensions. I don't think intelligence is measured to size of brain. Because I think if that's the case, I think whales, right, would have had a better.
Yes.
Whales have physically a bigger.
Larger,
A bigger brain.
Yes.
But isn't it all proportions are equal to the animal? Or is that
Like dinosaurs, maybe they could have had a second brain, maybe.
maybe not a second brain, but I mean, isn't each, like, again, this is not my forte, but isn't a brain composed of different sections, like a cerebellum?
Yeah, but
Like
if
the
you
lobe.
physically have more dimensions of each section.
If you but if you make it grow, does it make it more useful as far as like maybe memory retention, or does it make it more useful for actual speech or something like that? Though, again, this is just my questioning because of me not knowing the the information at hand, or that's not my forte. But that was the only thing that I wanted to know, or my question for this article. Does making the brain grow, whether it be in, I guess you could say in gigabytes, or maybe
Or millimeters in this
right,
case.
or making it grow physically, does it make it more useful for the animal or not? And if so, how? Or if it doesn't, then what's the point? Again, I don't know. This is just
Just maybe that is useful. I'm not sure, but just for example, if you can see infrared or UV light, probably you can get more information.
oh,
But now, I guess human brain is not enough for calculate these
right.
new information.
Right.
Interpret this information.
It's like if it grows any bigger, are we gonna develop telepathy so we can move
Yeah.
things with our mind? Like that's my whole thing. Like for the longest time, I think scientifically speaking, the human brain has been the size it's been for a while now, right? I mean, mind you, humans haven't been on Earth very long compared to other species, but I mean, from the time that people have been studying brains, it hasn't really grown any bigger, has it? Or gotten any smaller? Or again, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it's gotten smaller, and it went through like historic, archaeologically. It's the first. There was the apes, right? We're from the same family of the apes.
That's
And
if you subscribe to that. Again,
there's archaeological evidence that's subscribing or not. The bones are there. That's I'm not here to
I mean,
discuss
circular.
ideological
Again,
things.
yeah,
I'm just saying the bones, according to the bones that are present there, the different models that they have is that the brain was of this bone. If we're gonna relate it to being human, is that it was X size. Let's say one fist, and then the next model was a fist and the finger extra, and then like that, and then it went again to being the size of a fist. Not the same composition because we don't have a brain of that of
that's
version 1, a physical squishy brain anymore. We don't know. We only know the dimensions of what was held inside the skull, not exactly the content of the skull. We're using our squishy brain as the sample, but we don't, unless we can go back in time and actually see and we dissect a living animal and see what kind of squishy brain they had. We're only going to assume that it's the same as ours.
I mean, but then that's circular reasoning at that point.
No, we're only measuring what we
know.
can measure. What
Yeah.
we can measure.
What we know.
in little organoids.
So making a hypothesis at
What's
that
the
point,
quality of the organoid is different.
Again.
Correct. Yeah.
that to me, again, that just becomes circular reasoning to me. But again, I'm not an expert. I could be wrong, but I mean, I think that if we were to measure a brain, as far as like history goes of us measuring brains, I don't know if a human brain has actually grown any bigger or it's gotten any smaller. That's my whole thing. And if it has grown, what benefits?
What did we gain?
Yeah, what did we? Or again, my crazy idea. Are we gonna get telepathy where we're gonna be Professor X from the X-Men and be able to either read minds or lift objects,
Or fly like Magneto.
right? Or well, that's magnetism. He was a mutant. I'm talking about Professor X, where he was able to use Cerebro and and read the minds of
Find other mutants.
right,
Yeah.
or telepathy like Jean Grey, where you can move things with your brain, with your
Be gone.
right. But again, that was just my question. I mean, again, I don't know. That was just my question.
I agree. So unfortunately, this study can only measure the dimensions of growth and not the quality of each one of the brains, which is a total different
Yeah,
thing.
like
Unfortunately,
quality over quantity or quantity over quality.
yes,
That's my whole thing. I don't know, but
and that's not the scope
And
of
that's
that
just-
experiment.
right, and that's just my
That's
question.
another experiment
Yeah.
on its own.
Again, not my forte. Guys, if you have anything to add on to it,
Kenichi?
Mm, uh, mm,
No pressure.
okay. Just now I feel I'm thinking about current technology development. Now, of course, now this century has big difference, big development of technology. So now human life become completely changed before 100 years from between 100 years ago and now.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, it
before
has.
that, probably technology development is very slow. So, brain can adapt these development slowly. So, human it became human. But
what we know of it, a human now.
Yes, but now completely development is very fast. So brain evolution cannot follow this
Like
this-
path
A standard of time.
or path or maybe
in
a direction.
yes, just technology develop
Oh,
evolution cannot follow human technology evolution.
oh, you mean like it won't keep up? Like technology will advance faster
Yes,
than our
faster.
brain development?
Yes, so it is. So maybe thousand years later, the human brain become big
Okay.
for adapting this new technology. But
Okay, but go. I think this. I want to say maybe a caveat. Maybe it's a caveat. I don't know. What do you guys think? Going back to the first article that Marcos brought up.
The chip,
Right.
that's augmentation.
Right. So, if say, as an example, fast forward 100 years, the human brain has grown and developed into a bigger brain, and we're more brain than person. Just as an idea, right? Would that affect then how augmentation works at that point?
What's augmentation again?
Again, what we were reading from the first article.
Modification.
Right. Would that intertwine or mesh better, or would that be a detriment? Where do we even need it at that point? If our brain is going to grow and develop that way, do we need to get neuro linked up to a machine at that point? If we're gonna, again, my crazy kookamania idea of being able to develop telepathic ways of doing things at that point. Again, I think that's like a fork in the road. Maybe I could be totally wrong. Maybe if the human brain develops and grows and evolves into being a bigger, more well equipped, or developed to something that is needed for the future, maybe we can start talking to people with our thoughts instead of
Our thoughts?
yeah, like we can think into your brain. It's like, hey, Marcos, without even
wrong thought.
right. My man got excited.
That's why I was
And then
smiling.
Right, and then the other way, or the fork in the road, you go to the other side where it's like our brain just stays the same, and technology develops where we are able or capable of linking our brains and Bluetoothing it to equipment and mechanical other technological advancements, so we can move things through that means. So I think that's a fork in the road. And again, that's just my headcanon right there.
That's your isekai world. that you
Right.
want.
That's my way of like interpreting, I guess, with the limited amount of information I have on the subject. So I don't know, maybe you guys want to, throw your 2 cents into the basket. Yeah, please, Marcos, go ahead, bro.
There's a saying, I don't know, I forgot who said it, but it says the less we know about a subject, the more we want to assume about that subject,
Absolutely.
because we don't know a lot. It's an infinity what we can think of versus
What we know.
what we know. Let's say a car mechanic. We think that a Honda Civic might as well run 2,000 kilometers per hour or 2,000 miles per hour, versus a mechanic says that car's gonna break down before you even reach 90. And he knows, I don't know, or those tires are gonna break down before it reaches 100 kilometers per hour. Versus me, that car might as well fly. Like fly, go very fast. So the more we know about something, the less we assume, the less we want to create a universe, because there's hard numbers, facts, data that says, well, you're assuming. So I got the numbers here. That's a lie. You're just imagining things. That's why we're scared of AI. I'm personally not scared, but I'm curious. I'm curious about space and the cat girls I wish for. And then there's what else? The
Cat
chips.
girls that
Putting-
you were wishing.
Putting in chips in our brains, like to via Bluetooth create. Via Bluetooth, probably call Domino's or a pizza. Say I want a pizza, and it'll be before I don't even pick up my phone anymore and call something.
Actually, now I remember English title of the anime. In topic 1, I said I talked about Hokakidotai.
Yeah.
English name is Ghost in
the Shell.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I saw that one. That's a good one. So how have I seen that one? Right? Ghost in the Shell?
The movie?
The
live
anime.
action?
The anime in
No,
general.
I haven't seen it. at
It's
all.
a good
No,
one.
I'll definitely get around to
It's
it.
a good one.
Yes.
So that one, it's basically the main character. As a little girl, there was an accident, and only that remained was her brain and her organs. Everything else is cybernetic, and she became a robot.
Right.
And so,
But then
yes.
again, this goes back to my point where I think technologically speaking, we're so off.
We can be. That's the bad part.
No,
we
no,
can
no,
be
no,
so
off in the sense that we're so far away from that actual technological advancement to be put in practice that
Yes.
we can only fulfill it or
in the,
conceive it or imagine it through some sort of fantasy
through anime
or science fiction or anime because we can't properly do it in real life in our time. So that's the only reason I'm thinking of that fork in the road.
So are you saying that because of, okay, no, you're not saying this. Continue. I want to say.
No. I was just saying that's the fork in the road where I like when we're talking about it, we get excited and enthusiastic about it.
Cat
And-
girls.
Yeah, of course. Again, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not saying it's wrong.
But it
I'm
feels
just
so
saying-
right.
Right. For you, maybe for you.
Look at Alan. Alan is smiling.
I'm smiling because I think we get to the point where we imagine it and it's like we can't really speak it into existence because that doesn't exist, bro. We can't do that. But we can sure damn try to imagine it and
I have a dream.
right and that those lofty goals of certain things are what make this type of technology
Just living in general.
just a nicer place or a greater place because then we can actually develop these ideas and maybe work towards it. But that fork in the road in my mind, it's like, all right, based off the two articles, the first one and this last one that were read, thinking that, well, maybe one day our brain grows big enough where we can actually do something more than just write on a piece of paper or text or type on your phone, where the other side of the fork of the road is our brain doesn't really develop any larger and we can't do anything more than what we already do now, but we have advanced where enough technologically speaking where we can now upload not upload our consciousness but maybe have a more interconnected biological and technological
Like
life.
an android
Almost like an android,
or a cyborg.
right? And that is more of the way some people are thinking, and then the other way is more of a different way of thinking. And again, those are just two end goals of what may happen. Again, we're not even at the cusp of it. We're not even at we're just knocking on
We
the
don't
door.
even know where the start line is.
We're just right now using the GPS to find where the hell we're going. So
Yeah.
I that's where I'm at. And I don't know if science really has the.
I don't think
mean,
science knows where the start line
Bro.
is either.
Again, let me just say this: it's 2021. We can't even figure out what's it called, a pandemic situation, and figuring out how to fix it. Let me just say that at that point, and we're dreaming up of how our brain is going to
just
develop an AI. Again, that's just my randomness thinking.
But you have a point.
and being practical about it, you know?
Yeah.
Again, if we don't have the technology or the means to even figure out a pandemic right now, lofty goals. We're trying to trying to move shit with our with our minds, or we're trying to connect ourselves into the
Matrix.
Matrix to get cat girls for Marcos.
What? No. I plead the fifth.
So again, this is the reason why.
I understand.
Yeah. So that's my whole that's all my whole train of thought. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe I'm just talking about.
I agree with you.
Maybe we just
Do you agree with cat girls? The real question is over here.
cat girls.
Sorry.
Neko Mimi.
Oh.
He wants Neko Mimi.
or not only the Nekos. What else?
I don't know. I would like to hear what Josue's point of view is, or if he's connected right now, or he's taking this. Oh yes, there you go.
Hey.
No, but I like to first say, Marcos, I'm sorry, but there's no cat girls. I'm gonna have
bursting your bubble, bro. Bursting your bubble.
I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not crying.
So there's actually an answer to has our brain been growing? So it says pre-civilization, the brain has been actually shrinking.
Oh, that's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
That's interesting.
They said, but now from the past 100 years, they're saying that it's done the opposite. It hasn't growing.
1800s, Kenichi?
1800s.
Well, no, I said past 100 years.
Oh, so 1900.
The past century.
In the
past
1900s.
Years, it's actually been doing the opposite because of childhood nourishment has increased and diseases have been going down.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they're saying that while we don't know what's going to happen in the future, they said that has been on the incline for now.
So we taking multivitamins to have healthier brain effects, like fish oils, like omega-3s, stuff like that. Probably that helps in, helping brain development. Like
actually, that is not development. It means not evolution. It's just
selective.
Yes, just selective or I'm not sure.
Kenichi coming in with the hot topics.
Oh yeah, I also got this from the Scientific American.
Oh.
No.
Not even the Scientific Japanese?
or Scientific
American.
European?
Nah, just the American.
Oh, okay. Very good.
And like as far as like I know you guys had a conversation with like how technology is going.
Yes.
And to be honest, like with the whole like I forgot what were you guys talking about?
Bruh. The first doing like that. I was talking about comparing the first article and the last one we read, and I'm saying that there's like a fork in the road, and we're just at this point just spitballing and imagining
literally
things.
spitballing.
Yeah, imagining things because we
Creating
don't know.
New worlds.
Yeah, because we don't know how far in the future we're gonna get to see that actual development even happen, or even knocking on the door.
Yeah.
But again,
yeah,
that's
no. But what I was trying to get is like, that whole we don't know thing is like it could happen tomorrow. Next thing you know, they could be like, hey,
there's a cat girl.
Yeah, they actually work now.
But not the cat girl, right?
We can actually make cat girls, but we can make them virtually.
Well, making them into what's it called? NFT.
Think of it
body pillows.
Think of it like this is like going back to like the beginning of the 2000s eras. If you go back and say, hey, look, in about 10, 20 years, we're going to be having phones that we can just touch the screen and it does stuff. Or we can open our phones with our face.
And read anime.
But
anyway,
I think
manga.
at that point, and this is just, I think this attributes to just how little or how naive, I guess, human beings can be. Where, I don't know if you guys remember when we went from 1999 to 2000. The big scare was Y2K.
But again, that was marketing from people that really didn't know, and they still had like again Apple box or what's Apple crate to stand on and just.
Well, you could say that, but it doesn't take away how the stock market fell. How people were literally killing themselves because they thought the world was going to end, and this happens in cycles. Where
2012.
I mean, again, you're gonna find cycles, but again, I think it kind of comes to how naive us as a human species is.
no matter how much technology is around us at that time, how naive we can be and how easy we're swayed from one way of thinking to another based on whatever information is hot at that moment. And again, it could be 100% wrong or 100% right, or in that gray area where it's maybe, there's a sprinkle of truth in that wrong. But again, that's just my way of thinking. But again, sometimes I'm very, how can you call it? Like contradictive to certain things. And maybe that's just my hard wiring for me. And other people are not, don't think like me. And everybody thinks different. So again, I don't know what you guys think about that.
Kenichi, thoughts?
I'm sorry, I can't.
You didn't follow.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. No, I spoke too quick and just put a bunch of stuff on the table. Yeah, no, basically it's like, I think that us as human beings are very naive based on what little information or the information we do have on hand. We can sometimes be swayed easily based on either the information we have or lack thereof. And maybe we make decisions or cross our arms and don't do anything. And I think that also plays a huge role on development, whether it be in this case technologically speaking, where there's one Elon Musk as an example, and not many of those exist. You know, the visionary, the person that maybe he doesn't know everything, but he will figure out a way to use the people that do know a lot of one subject and develop great things. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say, where I think that's the best way I can sum it up, where there's very few people that have that, not only the imagination but the actual drive to actually get from concept to actually finished product. And there's not a lot of those, unfortunately, where we can sit down and think and be like, oh, I have a great idea, or Marcos has a great imagination for Nekomimi
Cat girls,
right? But from conception to actually making them, how we're gonna get to that point, I don't know, and I wouldn't be able to figure out how to start, how to do it. So that's why I say maybe, and the example I gave when it was the year 1999 to 2000, Y2K was something that a lot of people in the United States, and I don't know if
I don't remember that year. I was 5, 6,
probably
7
Yeah,
7
there you
years
go.
old.
I don't know if that was a big thing in Japan, Y2K.
What is Y2K?
Yeah, the year 1999.
Yes.
And it went to 2000.
Yes.
There was in the United States was a big commotion, a big problem, because a lot of people thought that the computers were going to reset back to zero.
Okay.
And one of the things that you saw was people getting worried, and there was a mass sell-off in the stock market. A lot of people killed themselves because they really thought the world was going to end. And I think that plays into the human naive way of thinking, or very short-sighted way of thinking.
Or 2012.
Or again, and I think it's very cyclical. So like every 10 years or so.
What happened in 2012?
2012 was when a lot of people, not everyone, thought that the world was going to end based on the Mayan calendar.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
and
understand.
Again, for me, I look at that as a naive way of thinking, where the information is presented to you, but you're so short-sighted or nearsighted that you don't see the other information around, where it may be...
What's this?
Short-sighted? Oh, narrow-sighted.
There you go.
Narrow-sighted, where you don't see more.
Yes, I understand.
Or you don't get or you don't find the will inside of you to look for other options or other information and compare and put one way of thinking against the other way of thinking.
Let's say you only see a tree in an entire forest of trees.
Right. So I think humans have that how can I put it? That limitation maybe where once they get into the naive way of thinking, they don't see farther or wider, and they make decisions, and sometimes not the best decisions based on maybe misinformation or whatever they subscribe to as far as like where they get their information. And I think that based off the first article and the second article, again, spitballing, we're making ideas and assumptions. Just like Marco said, we make assumptions because we don't know. But at the same time, those assumptions, if put in the right person's hand, again, example, Elon Musk.
Yes.
He pushes forward with his ideas using resources and other people's brains to actually get the job done and get to space, get electric cars, solar energy, Neuralink. I mean, it's endless.
Starlink.
Right? Starlink. So I think that's it's very crazy to see that in the majority or the bigger scheme or the larger picture, not everybody is a Elon Musk or a person of that caliber. And
how about this one? If everyone was an Elon Musk, no one would be Elon Musk.
Right. No, to your point. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Because in a world of naive, or you can't.
What about, let's say, who in the world could have been a Nobunaga or Oda Nobunaga or the Mongolian one? What's his Genghis Khan? Or
it's true.
Or Napoleon.
Yes.
Or Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great. Or
Caesar.
George Washington.
Or George W. Bush.
But yeah, those are our thoughts.
Right. I mean, again, not my expertise, but I like to share with you guys at least what it's worth, my train of thought. And I could be totally wrong.
And that's okay. We're not wanting you to be wrong.
Right.
Not in this case. This is we just talk.
Yeah.
We just talk. We're not here to be, I'm right, you're right, he's right, you're wrong.
This is just my point of view. This is the way I think, like it or hate it, and I respect everybody else's opinion, way of thinking. Don't get me wrong. I like to hear, everybody else's opinion because it gives me ideas and it helps me clarify my way of thought, So that's what I'm thinking at this point. But Josue or Kenichi or Marcos, do you have anything to add on, or?
I already said my piece.
Oh, Josue, Kenichi, do you have anything else to add? Anybody? Going once?
Nope.
Going twice?
Okay. How about, let me put in a break. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. This is the end of part 1 of the LTS podcast. Now, we have over here the squad. 1 is the release schedule for the podcast. Alan?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. And all you listeners from the East Coast to the West Coast, Mountain Time, all those times, please tune in on Thursdays for part 2. This is Marcos Lopez signing out.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. When you support the show, we have a merch store where you can buy an item that you like. If buying merch is not your thing and you just want to support the show directly, we also have links to those too, if you'd like. Thank you. Also, every comment is really appreciated. Credits in the description as well. Peace.